Good evening, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, thankfully this week started off, I feel like, a little bit better than last week. I don't know what it was about last week. I just felt really lazy. Like, I just didn't feel like doing anything. And like, it started with like the weekend kind of, where I was just like watching like TV and like movies and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't doing a whole ton. So then like during the week, it just seemed like it kind of spilled over. And then like I was just lazy during the week too. So thankfully that's not necessarily how today started. I did upload a bunch today. I also did edit just a little bit. I didn't have a lot of time because I was finishing up my grocery list as well, which are all done. I also did dishes and laundry today too, so I was like, yay, I got all that stuff done. And you know, again too, just felt more productive than I guess I have like through earlier, like last week and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't really know what it was. And then today I was just like, okay, Kayla, like you got to get these things done. And like also too, I didn't set my planner up for today, but like last week I didn't use my planner at all. And again too, I didn't do it either like today. So I don't know that that necessarily had an impact on it, but I just like told myself, I was like, okay, these are things you have to get them done today and like just do them. Whereas like last week I was like, like, you know, I'll try and get to this stuff or whatever, you know, but like I wasn't really like kind of I don't know, holding myself accountable sort of to making sure that I got those things done that I needed to. So I felt like today I did, and I managed to get everything done that was kind of like, you know, again, on my planner for today, even though I didn't set my planner out. But I was telling you guys how last week, I think it was on Friday, me and my mom and Jack probably too were actually, we kind of had an errand that we had to run, and then Saturday as well, but it ended up kind of getting canceled, and now it looks like that's going to be tomorrow. So that was another reason too why I wanted to kind of make sure that I ended up getting the things done today that I needed to, because normally Mondays are when I work on doing the grocery list, and then we'll go to the store on Wednesday, like to Meijer, and then I'll work on the other grocery list though normally on Wednesday. That's when those sales papers start for the other grocery stores that are later in the week, so I'll normally work on those on Wednesday. One thing I realized though is that like Wednesday's Valentine's Day, and so we probably, I'm assuming, are probably not going to the grocery store. Like I'm sure my parents are gonna probably like do food and maybe a movie or something like that, but I also don't know if they're gonna do that on Tuesday, which is like their date night anyway, and then they're just gonna, you know, not do anything special on Valentine's Day though, just do it the day before, since that's when they normally have like plans. So like I said, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know, because then I'm trying to think, I was like, well then maybe me and my dad could go to Meijer on Thursday, but he has the weightlifting for the high school football that he goes to on Thursday. So yeah, and then on Friday, I mean, we could do it on Friday, but like I said, I don't know, and nobody's necessarily said anything, so I don't know what, like I said, that looks like. And again too, my parents might just be doing something then on Tuesday, but maybe we flip-flop Tuesday and Wednesday with like Valentine's Day and like going to the store. I don't know. Like I said though, nobody said anything, so as of right now, plans could change. I might not have a haul for you guys on Wednesday from Meijer, because I just realized that. I looked at the calendar and I was like, wait a second, isn't Wednesday like Valentine's Day? And then yeah, so I don't know, but anyways, I might not. It depends. But tomorrow during the day, again, we got stuff going on, so I wanted to make sure that I tried to get the things done that I needed to, so that I don't have anything that I'm like, oh well, I'll just finish that tomorrow, because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have tomorrow to be able to do it, because we shouldn't be gone for very long. We're actually going over to my aunt's house. She's actually moving, and most likely most of her furniture she's not taking with her, so like a couple of things like couches and stuff like that, because we just have our recliners in the living room, which are like, they're like double recliners, but they fit the space insanely awkward. And like since the beginning we've said this, they're good in theory but not so good in reality, I guess, is that it's just kind of awkward. We can only sit 6 people in our living room, and like on occasion we have like an extra chair in there. Like I think my mom moved the green chair upstairs now to their bedroom. Like I think we have the rocking chairs in the living room, but like for the most part, like we don't have like a couch that can like sit 3 people in like a smaller space. We have like 3 recliners that are, like I said, double recliners, so they sit 6 people, but it's spread out across our entire living room. So they take up like a huge amount of space. And then if you're trying to recline in them on top of it too, they don't fit very well. We realized that the, you know, not only is one of the chairs, especially too, is like falling apart, all of them kind of are too. Just like, I don't know if it's because they're like a faux leather, but I don't know if it's because they've been in the sun. Like, it's all peeled off. We haven't really had them all that long. Like, I think we ended up getting them shortly because we had my grandma's furniture after she passed away for like a little bit, and then after that we ended up getting these recliners like maybe a year after that. So they're probably like a little over 5 years old, maybe. They're really not working out. And like I said, on top of that too, like one of them, the like fabric stuff underneath like has come off, and like one of them doesn't open right anymore either too. Mine's pretty much okay. It's funny though too, because the one, everybody has their own chair in the living room, and there's one chair that like nobody sits in because it's just like the 5 of us mainly. So the one that nobody sits in is like brand stinking new because nobody sits in it. So like there's nothing wrong with it. There's like, you can feel like it feels way different when you sit in it compared to the other ones, but they're just like super worn out too. Like I said, you know, they have the imprint of where everybody sits in them, like, you know, so it's super weird too. Like if I happen to sit in my mom's chair, I'm like, this is weird, like I don't fit in here. And I like sit in Jack's chair, like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, like, you know, you sit in each one and you're like, this one doesn't feel right, this one doesn't feel right, till you get to your chair and then you're like, okay, like, you know, this fits me better. But like I said, the one that nobody sits in, it still feels like it's brand new. Like it still has like all the like, you know, like fresh, you know, nobody sat in it before kind of thing. So yeah, like my mom has already been talking about, she's wanting to get rid of, like, once we move on from all the bedroom stuff, we're gonna move on to redoing the living room. And she was like, when we do that, I want to get new furniture for in here. My aunt, who happens to be moving now and like I said is getting rid of a lot of her furniture anyway, offered it to us. So we're gonna go over there. But the other thing we're going to do is that, I think I told you guys about around this time last year, my aunt had asked if I wanted to actually organize all of her pictures, and she has some really old pictures, like of my like great grandparents, maybe even great grandparents. Like she has like some really old pictures, and she also has like a lot of pictures, like again too, of like her grandkids and like me and, you know, Matthew and Jack and stuff like that, like, you know, all of us when like we were little and like, you know, that kind of thing. But I had told her how I had organized all of our pictures. This was, I don't remember how long ago it was. It feels like it was probably like 3 years ago maybe, but it honestly could have been around the time we were clearing out and cleaning out the attic, or like right before that. So maybe it was like around 2020, kind of feels right. But I almost want to say it was like before 2020. Like I don't remember it being like a lockdown like activity that I was doing. I was just doing it just because. But you know, like, and then I remember though too, when we were cleaning out the attic, I had all the pictures organized. Now we found tons of more pictures since we've cleaned the house and again cleaned the attic and like all that kind of stuff, so I do have to kind of go through and reorganize them. But I like organized them by year and like again sorted through everything, and it took me like probably a whole week to do all of our pictures. And I feel like we have a lot, so my aunt was saying too, she was like, oh well, maybe you could come over for like a night and, you know, or maybe 2 or something like that, and stay over and organize all of my pictures. And I'm thinking, like, if it took me, like, again too, I don't know if she has more than me, but I'm assuming because again too, she has a lot of old pictures, you know, including that, you know, again too, like pictures. I mean, some of the pictures my mom has though were like also my grandma's pictures, but again too, I feel like my aunt, I know she took pictures like for everything. And again too, she's been on so many trips, and like obviously take a lot of pictures when you go on trips and stuff like that too. I feel like again, she probably has a lot. I have no clue how many like bins of pictures she has or anything like that, but she was definitely saying like, oh, I have a lot of pictures. If like the amount of our pictures are comparable to the amount of pictures that she has, it's probably going to take me like a week, 2 weeks at least maybe to do it. And again too, I remember sitting there though going through them being like, I want to be done. If these weren't all in the way, I'd just like pack them up and say like, I'm just gonna leave it until I feel like I want to come back to doing it, because I was going a little stir crazy, kind of just sitting there like in front of the TV watching like TV for like 3 days straight going through organizing pictures. You know, like I said, it was probably though closer to a week that I was doing it. And I remember there was one day where I was just like, I can't do it anymore. My mom's like, you just left all these, because I had them like on a card table out in the living room. My mom's like, you just left these all sitting out here and you haven't worked on them. I was like, I need a break. I can't handle that anymore. And so I know that again too, it's probably going to take me a long time to go through all of her pictures as well. But she suggested too, she was like, well, since I'm moving and I want to have all the pictures be gone through, and I think also too the idea was like she wanted to give a lot of the pictures to like people like that, you know, again to like my aunt, my uncle, like that kind of stuff, like her grandkids possibly as well, you know, just not keeping all of the pictures that she has. You know, like that was, I think that was how she wanted them organized. I'm not entirely sure. That's also the reason we're going to go and talk with her about it tomorrow. But like I said, I had offered to do it for her last year. But then also too, I remember the one day I was all ready. I had all my stuff packed up. I was ready to go over there. There was like that, not a blizzard, but we had like a really bad snowstorm. I think there was another day too where like either the car didn't start or the temperature was super low as well. And like my aunt was like, I don't want you guys driving out here, because she lives like maybe a half an hour or 45 minutes away, something like that. So like she was like, I don't want you guys coming out here like if something happens to the car, like, you know, and you guys get stuck, because I think it was one of those days where it was like, you know, negative like 15 degrees out or whatever. And so there was a handful of days that I remember, it was like in January or something like that, that ended up kind of falling through and we weren't able to do it. And then again too, with all the project stuff upstairs, we were working so often that like I didn't have like 2-3 days to like go and like, you know, again go over there. So that's why she suggested just taking the pictures, going through them for her, organizing them, everything like that, and then being able to get them back to her. And like I said, I don't know exactly how, you know, like I said, all of this stuff is getting all you know, organized and how she wants it done and stuff like that. And like she was saying too, a lot of the stuff she, you know, is obviously again with like furniture and stuff like that she's not keeping. So I don't know the situation with the pictures. All I know is that I get to organize them, which I'm actually really like excited for, because I want to see some of those really old pictures. And like, you know, just also pictures too, like of like that I've never seen, like of my great grandparents or like my grandma, or you know, like I know that there's a lot of pictures that I'm sure she has that I've never seen of like them and stuff like that. Or you know, again too, my uncle, even like my cousins, me, like that kind of stuff. Like I haven't seen many of her pictures, and you know, like in parties and stuff like that, because I know again too my grandma has a lot of like old pictures of like my great aunt and my great grandma and like, you know, and my great grandpa, like, you know, at parties and stuff like that. And like, you know, I'm sure a lot of pictures too that my aunt probably has that she maybe took of my grandma, that like my grandma wouldn't have pictures of herself, because most of them are like ones my grandma took, so she doesn't have a lot of pictures of herself. So like I also kind of want to see those and be able to like go through those and, you know, get to see some of those things and just like, again, like those events and things like that. I mean, my aunt had a bunch of pictures like at my grandma's memorial service and stuff like that. But again too, I just feel like there's probably some pictures she obviously wouldn't have included. And those are the kind of ones that again too, I kind of just want to see and be able to go through. And like I said, I loved organizing our pictures. I'm kind of mad that it's all done, but again too, we have tons more that need to be organized. But like I'm kind of mad that I did it now, because I'm like, ugh, like, you know, that just, I don't know, it seems like a fun thing to do, and it was really fun to do. And like I loved going through all of our pictures. And like also too, because I did them in like order, I tried to do them in like yearly order, if not exactly. I tried to like kind of do it close enough to like, okay, these were pictures when my mom was like in high school and stuff like that, or these were pictures when I was like little and before Matthew was born. So they're probably like somewhere around in the 90s, you know, and that kind of stuff. So like those kind of things, like I was able to narrow a lot of it down, and a lot of them were like time stamped too, so obviously that made it easier. But it like again too, I just, it was cool to like go through and kind of see the progression of everything, of, you know, like especially to like more of my parents' life, because a lot of the pictures were like, you know, again from them, and like pictures that they took, you know, like again from like when they first got our first dog, our beagle Darby, you know, like pictures with him, and like then when I was born. And you know, it's like you see that progression kind of like, you know, somebody's life in pictures is pretty cool. But like I said, getting to see more of like the older generation of my family, I think will also be really cool, and getting to go through those and just like organize them. But I know that it's probably, again, I'm assuming my aunt has a lot of pictures, and I'm sure that it's going to be a very big undertaking going through all of her pictures. And like, I don't even think I did our photo albums or anything like that, because the most part, like anything that was in a photo album I just left. I just organized all our loose photos. So I know my aunt has photo albums too. So like, I don't know, like I said, exactly what she wants done with all of that, but that is what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to pick up the photos, and then again to go over like kind of what furniture situation stuff is as well. But that we probably won't be able to pick up until like the weekend at least, because we probably have to rent like a truck or something like that from like Menards. They, you know, rent the trucks. That's what we did moving a lot of my grandma's stuff. I remember we used it when my grandma moved in with us. We kind of one of those Menards rented truck situations for that, and so that's probably what it would have to be if we're, you know, moving furniture and stuff like that. But the pictures, that's why Jack has to come with tomorrow, because I don't know how everything's like, you know, what kind of, how heavy the you know, again, like totes, shoe boxes, I have no clue where they're stored or how they're stored or like anything. So I'm like, I'm not gonna say I can carry them up the stairs and out to the car if I can't. So that's why Jack's coming with us tomorrow. But again too, that's what we're doing tomorrow. And like I said, it's not gonna be like all day thing, but it'll probably be a good chunk of the morning at least tomorrow. But I will see you guys all tomorrow. And again to let you guys know how the whole situation with the picture organizing goes, because I don't know, it's just something like, I love family history, I love genealogy, like all that kind of stuff. So to find like and go through, like be able to see pictures like that and stuff like that is just really exciting for me. And again too, I love organizing. You guys like probably have heard me talk about plenty. Definitely has systems to the way things work, and like I like to be organized. So like picture organizing for me is something that's really fun. I like doing that. So I'm excited to like I said, get to go through that. And you know, again too, like being that it's somebody that I know, you know, like my aunt, and it's going to be pictures of my family and stuff like that, kind of has an extra level of like fun getting to go through that as well. But anyways, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.